Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Chrissy Sawyer here. Okay, I've been sitting on this one for a few days. I had another really significant shift last week, and it nudged me into a space of wisdom through inaction. And resisting the urge to bring whatever was coming through straight to camera. And the sitting on it, and the sitting in the not knowing, and the allowing of the percolation has been a lovely movement. And so there's been a lot of writing, a lot of channeling, a lot of numbers, a lot of symbols coming in for what I'm calling, well, what came through as 888 Dragon Gate. So I'm going to squirrel through my notes and channelings and just get lost in it, really. So I've been working with dragon energy for almost 2 decades, and sometimes when the time is right for the client, dragon energy comes in to support the work. Recently, Kuan Yin, another energy I've worked with for almost the same time, came in to show herself to me as dragon. It makes sense to me now why all the energy has drained out of Lionsgate for me this August, because these dragon lines are powering up and activating and becoming present and active. Like there's a role here, and there's time here. Kuan Yin is asking us to build the ashram within, is to come to a place of love within. And historically, Kuan Yin tends to come through with inner child work. So there's no surprise that I work with her, because all of my work is grown wounded child. And when we do inner child work, the Kuan Yin energy comes through. And it's just a delightful energy, which is so close to the energy of dragon. And I'll learn more as it unpacks. It's still unpacking. So to build that love within, or actually to just give in to it, because it's the absence of the block that creates the shift. With love and commitment to the changes that are going on around us, there can be pain and there can be joy. Each is a choice given in every moment, and even when we feel powerless. Dragon invites us to ride high up into higher mind where there is no programming. And here we have the primordial breath that came in for me with my Ice Age activation 3 weeks ago. Where there is no programming, where there is only primordial source and an energy so beautiful that we call it love. This is not to be confused with spiritual bypassing to avoid processing our unmet emotions, going up into the higher mind. It's about the whole energy. It's about all the energy fields working together. Working with dragon energy will ask a lot. Dragon energy dissolves every block to love. Its transformation is in the dragon's breath. So it is in the breath that we move the energy and allow these new energies to come through. These dissolving energies are heralding the incoming 2025 completion cycle, which is going to bring in this 9 activation, dissolving into wisdom. And there will be a letting go of the 1 to 8, the learned experience so far. I'm going to put a light on because we may have a thunderstorm, and why not, moving in. So just bear with me, guys. I'm back. Okay, so incoming 2025 energies are here. So Dragon Gate, love stripped bare, and I'm going to read my channeling to you in a moment. But as soon as the channeling started, I started to hear the lyrics of a song, and the lyrics are and I was shown the lyrics being whispered by a dragon to me. So you can keep me inside the pocket of your ripped jeans, holding me closer till our eyes meet. You won't ever be alone. Wait for me to come home. Or you can fit me inside the necklace you got when you were 16, next to your heartbeat where I should be, keeping it deep within your soul. Wait for me to come home. And if you hurt me, well, that's okay, baby. Only words bleed. Inside these pages, you just hold me, and I won't ever let you go. And that being whispered by dragon energy was something a bit special. Okay. And so I'm going to go to my very messy journal. And this began yesterday, Sunday at 1:30 in the morning. And I'm going to start actually with the end of a message I got a few days before this, which was reverse osmosis to create reverse psychosis. And that was really guidance to untether as much as you possibly can from 3D messaging, from media, unless you can fully choose. I'm going to keep that because the message I was given was actually about psychosis and the psychosis that the collective works so hard to avoid. So we're already in it. And the psychosis comes under the general banner of programming. It is the psychosis which blocks out the reality of the multidimensional self. And so reverse osmosis is what you soak up from the system. It's what you soak up from external messaging. Reverse that, go within. This is the Kuan Yin, and build the ashram from within. To step into the psychosis of the psychosis. Dragon Gate. Love stripped bare. We call it love, but what if we don't? Primordial energy stripped of human programming. Hypothetically, what if religion is stripped out of the human psyche? What then? Do we fill that space with something similar as we cleave to the familiarity of belonging to something that organizes our thoughts and behaviors? Or do we just feel into the gap and just be? Or what if the concept of what it is to be human gets stripped out? What then? What can we allow ourselves to be in the absence of our label human? And this was followed up by the teaching from the most recent activation insight with Kuan Yin as dragon, that I had to wait rather than rush to fill the space by creating a message to get it out there. I had to wait in that tension of not knowing to allow it to cultivate, to allow the seed to open and to listen deeply. Because I was so excited by this epiphany. Something else was trying to grow underneath it. So I guess the child in me, I've got Mars coming in now. Mars on 1133, that's interesting. Yeah, it's to do with immediacy, taking immediate action. But instead not, and just moving into quietness, just moving into quietness. So forcing me to go quiet and tune in more deeply into quest mode. Energy is finite, it cannot be created or destroyed. So the scientists tell me it can only change. Dragon work is heart work and has revealed a seemingly infinite heart that can continuously, expansively open into a heart stripped bare of what we perceive of as love. And all the way through writing that, the 18-9 energy kept coming in, kept coming in. And since I've spoken to a trusted friend, it's saying that I was doing this writing and this 18-9 just kept coming through, and they completely qualified what I was feeling into. And the 18-9 it's quite heavy, karmic completion. It can feel like walking through sludge. And the 18-9 was just coming in as an energetic signature all the way through this channeling. And I decided to do the numerology for love, for the word love. And I inadvertently reversed the number. So I put the personality numbers on top and the soul number on the bottom. And they come to 18-9. And so something around love, something around heavy love, something around ordained love. Ordnance Survey? Wow. I'm like being shown a minefield with a warning trip hazard. This is the puny human love. Okay, so they are my notes. And what I'm going to do, I am going to pull some cards and just stick to earth energy. So I'm going to use Russell's first deck that he kindly sent me, which is the rune deck. They need shuffling back in. And I haven't used this on camera yet. I've used it for a personal reading. So I'm going to stick to earth decks. We're going to use Forest Fae, Celtic Spirit, and Herbal Astrology, and just see what comes in. The dragons are already in. Guanyin is in. Hmm. Mhm. And I'm open to receive. Okay. A lot of cards have come out. I probably won't read them all. I'm going to put those to one side. And oh gosh, this is the ice age energy, ice gripped. And what it's speaking to is what got frozen in the ice. And as the ice melts, what is going to become, what is going to become Morpheus, morphing, Morphus. liquid, moving, flowing, painting. Oh, and that's coming in on 11. Bringing in the active will. And there are little slices of poetry on these cards, so I'm going to read this. Newly born, frightened first step, primary motion, so uncertain, learning to walk while holding consciousness in its vessel and being caught out by life, but thriving and breathing deep. Held still in naive stasis, calculate, plan, redefine, and absorb all that needs to move forwards on the disheartening thin ice. Oh, gosh. That was a beautiful reality check there about maybe ideas that we associate with rebirth. And I believe these are Russell's words. And what this brings in is actually the seeming ugliness of being a newborn. And that active will coming in on the one is the inception, it's the birth. And what does the birth want from us? Does it want us to let go of something, to release a tether so that we can pick up that wand and move forward with it? So there's a moving forward there. Interesting. Gosh. Okay, so immediately these cards tell me that I haven't shuffled the deck very well. But the cards that jump out are the ones, well, actually, it might be all of them that are actually beautiful. I'm going to go to 13. You. Because there is this kind of cosmic egg energy. You might have felt an intensification of hermit energy, like you don't want to be around people. There is a holding energy. It's like the heart knows it's holding something really precious. Okay, so the heart is being very discerning at the moment. And the words, so this is speaking to the sacral, the magical 13th rune of the mystical you, consciousness hooked in, plugged in to the seat of the soul, to be life on earth, seated and eternal. The inner wood of you may rot, yet fortifying from within, a new stem plumps the trunk back up, ancient witness of hidden sacred wisdom, past lives clinging and calling, old visions seen anew, deep wonders awoken, lessons learned. So these cards are speaking to it's almost like there's a death and rebirth. Well, 13, there's a death and rebirth here in these two cards. Yeah. And what I'm going to do is, so we've got 4 cards, and I'm just going to gently shuffle them to get whatever the next one wants to be, that one. So, and this is where you all get to laugh at me. So that says "ger" to me, but I wonder if it's year. Yeah. The year's gears turn, shattering summers, stolid stagnation. The astral rivers of the dream realms pour once more. It's the ice melting. From Asgard to Midgard, all along the sleepy slopes of the Bifrost Bridge, autumn again emerges. Heimdall sounds his cornucopia, horn of plenty, as our just rewards are reaped for everything honestly sown. All harvests held safe inside winter's sleepy stores. So this is like an inner reaping, if you like, an inner reaping of the harvest of what we have been germinating and testing and getting ready to birth. And it speaks to autumn and winter. And here I get something like the dying of the light and the birth of the inner light. Okay, wow, fantastic. I'm called to go to the Celtic spirit. Did you see, did the camera catch that? That card just flew across the desk. Did we not have this recently? So, standing stones. Okay, I'm guided to read from the book on this. Time turns and time stands still. Huh. Interesting. Okay, time turns and time stands still. So there's like an unlocking there's an unlocking. This is the reap, isn't it? This is the reap and the harvest. There is much unseen. There is much unseen. It's in your DNA. It's in your DNA. It's in the ground. So standing stones, ancestors, gateways. Sacred, but I don't really know what sacred means anymore. Sacred has lost its meaning to me. Standing stones. Sorry, this is just like a history lesson, but I'm not going to read it because history is changing, and what we understood then, if I bring that in, that will just block any new understanding that you want to birth. Yeah, so this is just about tuning in. Yeah. A couple of months ago, I was nattering with a friend, and I said, the unseen world is so close, like it's so close. And the tuning in process feels momentary. And if this speaks to you, take it. If it doesn't, leave it. But I'm in a little group of people at the moment that are noticing a shift in in how I bridge. So normally, normally, I bridge dimensions by touch and feel. So I travel through dimensions kind of without thinking about it. And describing it might be futile, actually, kind of without thinking about it. But what I'm noticing is now a little enclave of people all now moving that gift up into the eyes. And the so the unseen is coming in so close, it's like we can see through it now. And what happens when we see through it is we appear to glaze over or check out. I'm calling it phase shifting because I don't know what else to call it. My face is itching like mad. This is the field coming in. This is insight coming in. It always makes my nose itch. And so if you've noticed this in yourself, where you can be, it doesn't matter where you are, you can be in a crowd of people or washing the dishes, it doesn't matter, but suddenly you'll see open-eyed, you'll see straight into another dimension. And here in this dimension, it might look like you've checked out. Play with that. Play with that. So yeah, tuning in and a listening. This is all very 3D. Oh, but this is lovely. Find a place in nature where you won't be disturbed. Place your hand on the ground or hold a stone in your heart. I might suggest put the other hand on your heart and speak to the stone and ask for wisdom. And sit like a student. I remember when I made that video with Steph Zagorski from I Scribe with Steph, and she she was telling us how her mother taught her as a girl to pick up a handful of soil and listen and read and scry into the soil. Like, wow. Hmm. There's another one. Feels like a big ending, next year. Like, yeah, it'll be an ending of small patterns and the shift that comes from that and the growth and the expansion that comes from that. But it feels like era defining completion. Mm. Mm. I don't know what significance grapefruit has, but that's all I can see is a grapefruit. Did we have this one as well? Hmm. Beautiful. So I'm being told that the trees that stand there for hundreds of years have witnessed what we've built, have witnessed what we've sown into being, what we've woven into the fabric of life. Strength, growth, and stability. Yeah, have you witnessed what you've been sowing into the fabric of reality without judgment or value? Just it. What have you been sowing into the fabric of reality? Yeah, underlying energy is blood, beginnings, pentagram, and herbs. Okay, which is a beautiful segue into herbal astrology. And you'll have to forgive me in advance because unless I've got my crib sheet, I don't remember sigils for planets. I'll try and guess, but you can find them for yourself. Okay, what? Ooh, no. Okay. I'm being told I'm not listening. Just need to slow down a little bit. Wow, they do not want to go in there. Okay, we slow down for the herbs. Closing messages, please. And you'll notice the complete absence of me telling you what to do. Because this is part of the expansion of 2024 is to expand your questions and find your answers, is to become self-managing, because sovereignty is born when we find our answers and take action on those answers without judgment or any sense of right or wrong. When we just do it. This is way too many cards. Give me a minute. I'm back. So there was a whole clutch of cards that came out in a block from this deck, and they all tell the story of my big journey, my big Ice Age journey 3 weeks ago. So I had to go off camera because it really shook me. The story is so spot on, like it goes through every step. And I don't want to bring this story, but I'm totally guided to bring this story. So a few weeks ago, do you know, I really don't want to bring this story. Funny, it's funny actually, because I just noticed this is okay. Okay. Yeah. Everything is willing me forward. And it's just my ego that doesn't, it's the part of me that likes to be private, that doesn't want to bring this. But let's give ego a slice of cake and move forward. Um, I think this is Pluto and Mars, which is perfect, absolutely perfect. So, about 3 weeks ago, my friend came down, fellow mystic, and we do some beautiful work together. We do galactic work together and systemic work together. And it's when these cards came in, the heaven and hell cards, and they formed the container to hold what I could not have seen was going to come through. And what came through was a whole Saxon army in my front room. And so part of what I do is I can transfigure. So I will overshadow or shapeshift, give it what name you want. And the leader of the army opened this whole vision in front of me, which is nothing about what I've learned about marauding Anglo-Saxons. Okay, so I have Anglo-Saxon lineage, and that's where this is coming from. So what I did was collapse the timeline, integrate that warrior energy, because it was me on another timeline. And what shook me now and made me go off camera is my name on that timeline was Jürgen. Okay, so I have to bring this and let me see if I can remember it. So the opening scene is a warrior sitting underneath a tree, making a pentagram from sticks and twigs, which took me to that pentagram there that I made from rosemary wood out of the garden. I'm just seeing this transfiguration. So he showed me his army. There was a fire pit kind of over here to my left. And the brilliant thing about my friend is she is an open-eyed clairvoyant. So a lot of us go within to see clairvoyantly. So we'll see in a vision. My friend just looks and she can see all the layers as if they were here. So after my channeling, and bringing this timeline, activating this timeline to integrate it, she told me everything that I'd seen. So back to the vision. And then I'm guided to really observe this Saxon army and talk about stories being written by the victor. What a load of rubbish. These men were kind of devoid of human programming. They were empty. Love just flowed through them. Joy just flowed through them. And a sense of doing what had to be done. There was no polarity, no light or shade. There was no polarity in them. And they were dancing around the fire, and it was joyous and fully connected with earth and with nature. We were in this clearing, sitting in a woodland in this clearing with the fire pit. And some of them had drums and they were banging drums. And then my hand went to my head and I started tapping. But what my friend had seen was about 30 seconds before that, a cloaked woman, a small cloaked woman, appeared behind me, and she was dropping symbols into my crown. And that made my hand automatically go up and tap them in. I hadn't sensed her. And then I just detached and started to go out of body. And as I was narrating, I said, I think I've just lost my life because I'm leaving my body. And I looked up, and I'm now looking through Jürgen's eyes. I looked up and there's a deer in front of me. And then I said, I built the pentagram to call the deer to take me through when I die. Have I got it all? I think I've got it all. And it was just one of the most beautiful journeys, just one of the most beautiful journeys. And the following day, we both went to an Ice Age settlement. I just couldn't believe the energy was pre-human. We were human with none of the programming. And because that's all playing into what feels like an era change. I think I said in the last video, this is how it was meant to be. I'm sharing that with you. So tread with love with that. If you speak to it, you speak with love. I'm going to walk you through the cards. So we have transfiguration. And then milk thistle, which speaks to working with nature and animal spirits. This is the peaceful warrior. This is the Saxon, but not as I've seen it. I've even previously referred to Anglo-Saxons as marauding, insert word here. That was not the energy that I was shown. Retreat. So this is a kind of go back and think again. Yeah, think again. 27/9. That's next year, isn't it? 2025 is going to be a 27/9 retreat. Take that. Kidney. That's interesting. Okay. Lemon balm. And I feel into this as the energy that came behind me to drop the symbols in. And this is nurture, and to nurture a new way of thinking. And since that activation and collapsing that, reintegrating that timeline, the energy hasn't left me. I'm still in it. Okay. Purification, cat's claw. Look at all this Pluto, Mars again. Mars and the moon, Jupiter and the sun. Some purification. And this is the coming to love. This is the acceptance of that feeling of bondedness. This is like Two of Cups energy. It's beautiful. Venus and Pluto, transforming love. This is love transformed. Coming in on that 11, priestess, love transformed, the beloved. Psychic healing, cleaning that mirror, seeing through dimensions, wisdom, the elder wisdom coming in. It's like Uranus and the moon. Yeah, and there's something there about holding the story in your hands without judgment. Just hold the story in your hands and observe it. And if it wants to trigger a spontaneous healing, allow it. And this bit spoke to me about, I made the pentagram to call the deer in to take me through. Patience. Patience. So he knew he was going to die. And there's just that giving over to it, no resistance, there's no recoil in that. That's the part that is fully committed. That is the part that is fully committed to the work it's come here to do without morality or judgment. Revival. Wow, look at this. Wow, look at this DNA, the kundalini rising here. The phoenix into a naked landscape. This is, dare I say, the rebirth of emptiness. Got a song coming in. You can go your own way. Who's that? Fleetwood Mac? You can go your own way. Yeah, 20. So this is the 26/8. That's the collective year number for 2024 is a 26/8. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. And it's all DNA work. We've been doing this now for about a year. Purity again, so purity and purification. A return to innocence. Innocence being absence of the control paradigm, absence of the control program. Just free. Sun. It's a sun card. Well, that yeah, love strip there. There's nowhere I can go from here, guys. I think I'm going to call it. Oh, should we do these are so cute. Let's do a forest fae to close this video. And I want to thank the energies that have come in. I want to thank the family lineage that has come in to guide this very unexpected set of messages. And I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you for your contribution as well. I love your comments. I do love your comments. Just the raven shows the way. Be courageous. Change, and chance can bring exciting wonders. Walker on the wind. Whisper secrets to the moonlight. Find strength in stillness. And I get this card. I get this with this. It's like to listen to the secrets, to listen to the truth of history, to listen to the truth of your story. And in the revelation, you might see it in a completely different way. You might get the big aha. And when you get the big aha, bank it, because that might trigger you to then project it. I need to speak to you about you don't, much stronger than you think. Hold it, bank it, let it cook, let it percolate, let it move down into the depths. Let it do what it is here to do. Give it time. Okay. It might be a kind of, yeah, I'm not going to speak to that. No, I'm not going to speak to that. I'm going to leave that there. Thank you all for being here. Happy Dragon Gate. It's here. The energies are here. Dance with dragons, sing with them, chant, tone, drum, whatever. Lots of love, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.